This is from the Calder roundabout leading to the park and ride. As you can see the new sets of traffic lights just in front of the lorry there as you come round. So that's it coming from the Edinburgh side. As you come back down from the Currie side, you can see that the lane markings have not changed. However, the traffic lights are there, not quite active yet. And this is to facilitate the buses coming out the park and ride. So this should make access to the roundabout slightly easier. This is from Gillespie Crossroads, just along from Currie coming into Lanark Road. There's some big changes coming down this road. Main change being 2 lanes to 1 and the speed change from 40 to 30. You can see the parked cars now on the left. And a reminder that you're still in a 30 as you come into the main part of Lanark Road heading down towards Ingles Green. You can see the cycle lane has the barriers between it. Now the difficulty here is that there isn't as much space to pull in if you want to have a chat about something. There are spaces, parking spaces, and you'll see them coming up shortly. Difficulty being is they're going to be a bit more harder to get into once we get back to some sort of normality based on the amount of cars that actually park on this road normally. Notice how the lanes move about the road quite a bit as well, from left to right, right to left, oncoming cars and parked vehicles on your left there. You can see there's some spaces, but not a great deal. The cycle lanes have a solid line, generally, and the bus stops are the only other means of entrance in towards the side of the road. You can see some benefits for the pupils in this, in that it's all 30 miles an hour, it's all one carriageway, so it takes away some of that decision making about should I move into the left or should I stay in the right hand lane. So there's some benefits to the learning pupils for this. However, general traffic, it does put cyclists in conflict with cars quite a bit. As we come down towards the bridge, towards the lights at Ingles Green now, at the end of Lanark Road, you'll see that the bus lane has also been extended this way. At this point the signage hasn't been added. So if you see now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay out until the bus lane would normally start. But you can see as you come round the corner the start of the bus lane markings. So that's the new bus lane marking starting here. So this is the extended part. You can see the old arrows directing you out from the bus lane marked on the road here, which is where they used to be. No need for the reduction in speed from 40 to 30, of course, which is what's caught some learners out in the past as well. Watch now though as we come round into Ingles Green. Now, Ingles Green is all 20 miles an hour now, not 30 as previously. And the signs are just round the corner, just here at the viaduct. We have no change to the road markings on the approach to Sainsbury's. So it's still left lane for left and straight ahead, and right lane for turning right into Sainsbury's. You will notice the difference after this point though, that the lanes have been narrowed. Good talking point here for the 2 cars in front, for where they're parked. You can see the light sequences have all remained the same, so no change to the light sequences. See here now with the added cycle lane, which is reducing the lanes of the car, lanes for the car. We'll pay particular attention to the narrow the lanes to park cars on the other side of the road when we come back up the road further into the video. Passing opportunities are now limited on this road as well. It is a bus route, so with the lanes being limited, if there's a parked bus, then there's going to be more limited opportunities to move past that bus, so just bear that in mind. So we're now coming down towards the roundabout at the bus station. Previously, although not designated as 2 lanes, the road was wide enough to take 2 cars. This has now changed and it is only 1, and on the roundabout there are now cross hatchings which limit it to 1 lane going round the roundabout as well. Now this is helpful for the learner, which will help them keep their position a little bit easier. As you can see on the approach, only 1 lane then now with the cross hatchings being added, and it's a solid white line, so not to enter it. Solid white line hatchings in the middle as well. That's us off into Murrayburn Road. Now Murrayburn Road towards that roundabout coming back the other way, you'll notice at the beginning there was the 20 mph sign at the bus stop previous to that junction. The lane is also reduced to 1 lane on the approach to here now, or not as wide certainly, and it's a solid white line with cross hatchings. See how the roundabout's a little easier to deal with? Before you would get 2 lines of cars round there and there would be a bit of conflict on occasion if the car wasn't positioned properly. So that's us back into Ingles Green Road and we're heading back up towards the Lanark Road junction now and Sainsbury's. Challenge is going to be where most cars are finding it difficult to get their speed at the appropriate speed of 20 as opposed to 30. So as we come up towards Sainsbury's, there's always the challenge of the car showroom on the left hand side and the amount of cars that were always parked round about it. Are they parked? Are they waiting to turn? You'll see now that there's designated lanes, cycle lanes and parking areas, and there is only 1 lane now. So you stick to the lane, you'll be fine. See what I mean by the parked cars here on the left? In a really busy period as you approach Sainsbury's, you were never sure whether some of the parked cars were actually in the queue or not. Now it's all parking spaces. Cycle track is then narrowing that down as well. So beyond the lights, no change to the bus lane beyond the lights. That still is the only 24/7 bus lane that we've got on our test route. The next changes for us come at the right hand turn to go back up towards Lanark Road. Can you recall what the new speed limit is on Lanark Road? A 30. So the lanes on the approach here are the same, but pay attention that when you turn right, look out for the reminder signs that you're still in a 30. There's usually always parked cars here on the left as you come round. As you can see, there still are. It's official parking bays now, there's no two lanes. Did you see the 30 mph sign? You have to be looking closely. As you come round this left hand bend, previously you'd be looking at, is there an option of me going to the near side lane, which would show that you understood that you should always be in the left where possible. Now you don't have to think about that. It's 30 mph still, and it's one lane all the way up. You will see that it's the same as on the way down, where the road will move to the left and the right to accommodate either the new parking spaces or the cycle lanes or both, as you can see on the left there. Although we're not thinking about the changing of the lanes here, still worth throwing the observations out quite far. There are still junctions, left and right, and the vehicles will still be coming out of them as they always have. There's no other restrictions on that count. It's merely the parked cars and the cycle lanes. This road is always pretty much in the same position as it currently is with regards to the amount of vehicles on it. So don't let your student be tempted to increase their speed just because of a wide road. Now round the left hand bend approaching is the junction from Spylaw, and we do know that on some tests they'll come out of Spylaw and turn right to come down Lanark Road. This will be made slightly easier given that the speed of the vehicles coming up the hill is reduced. Now watch for the new bus lane here. This is a major change. So if that bus lane is in operation, and I'm led to believe that it's going to be just during peak hours, you don't actually get the opportunity then to move back into the left to go straight on for Currie or left down into the Dell until about 50 feet before it. So just bear that in mind as you approach it. So that's it for Lanark Road. So we're going to go move to Corstorphine now. So this is coming down from Quickfit. This is coming down towards a left turn for Dovecote Road, just where the white van is. But we're going to go, there's not much changes in Dovecote Road other than the fact that they've restricted the width of the junction at the stop sign at the end, but no other major change. Watch as we come down to the left hand turn though, as we come down towards Corstorphine High Street. You will be immediately faced with a priority sign. Now going in this direction, it requires you to give way to oncoming traffic. Not a lot of room there, is there? So just be careful that there's not 2 or 3 cars already parked there as you come round the corner. So make sure that you reduce the speed off before that corner in ample time. Everybody's behaving quite well. All the speeds seem to be fine. Watch, however, as we come up to the next point, just after the next junction on the left. This is where you have priority over oncoming traffic. People are still getting used to it, I get that. But some people don't give way. So as we approach it, notice the silver car should have stopped to give way to myself coming through. So always be prepared to stop. Notice the cycle lanes and how wide they are. Not quite sure they need to be quite so wide. You have no option but drive in them or through them. This has always been 20 miles an hour for some considerable time, so no change to speed limit here. Notice how the cycle lanes widen at the crossing points at the central island zone. You'll see more when we turn left later on to head up towards Forrester High School. No real change to the road markings heading towards Tesco in this direction. Again, you'll see a change to the road markings as we come down Broomhouse Road from Forrester a little bit further on in the video. Okay, so this is us turning right, coming into Corstorphine High Street again. No change to the light sequence. You'll see in further videos as we come down the road that you'll see the slight change to the road markings here at the traffic lights, which we'll pick up on approach. See how there's only one lane of cars going through there now? It actually makes good sense. So this is going back into Corstorphine High Street. We're just going to have a look at the priority and the giveaway markings that have been put on the road and the width of the lanes. There's always parked cars here when you turn in any case. There always has been, so there's no real change there. It would appear that some of the cycle painting that is on the road has been left from when they've had the temporary road markings previously. What they have actually done is they've put cycle paint on the road at the outside of the bus stops as well, and I think that's just as a warning that there may be cyclists. And that's us covered Corstorphine High Street in both directions. So the next video you see is going to cover Broomhouse Road, which covers up towards Forrester High School and then back down again towards Tesco. So this is where your 30 mph sign appeared before, clearly being replaced by a 20 sign. Notice the cycle lanes on the left hand side. And this is where you'll see where the traffic islands are, that the cycle lane extends itself out. You have no option to go through it. Putting the paint on the road where the bus stops are would almost indicate that the cycle lane is extending itself round the bus stop, where in actual fact it isn't. I think they're just there as a warning because the cyclists are going to be going round the buses. It's a bit of overkill with the paint, but you'll see there numerous traffic islands with extended cycle lanes out. On the approach to the school, it was always 20 lane lights flashing. Clearly it's 20 all the time now, so that's removed that part of the route for you. So we're going to turn left into here now. When we come back out, just in a minute or so, you'll see that just as we're going in there, you've got signposts saying 20, you maybe just caught them out the corner of their eye. As you come out, there's actually a 20 mph sign, a larger 20 mph sign as you're coming out onto Broomhouse Road as well. That was never there before. Okay, so this is us heading back up towards Broomhouse Road. Thankfully no cycle lanes painted on this corner. Looks like all the roadworks that were going on there towards the end of the last lockdown have went away now. It's still a tight turn. If you just look up into the side of the new road now, you'll see the 20 sign just to the right of the white van. They haven't renewed any of the giveaway markings here, so as always just be cautious. The 20 when lights flashing sign is still there. However, you'll see when we turn out that the 30 mph sign was on the reverse of the 20 when lights flashing sign has been cancelled out. Just on the right there, and the 30's being crossed out. Let's go back down this way. This is much the same as the approach from the other direction. They have put lots of 20 paint on the roads, so there's no ambiguity with the speed limit. The lanes are narrow, but an appropriate enough size for one line of cars or a bus. Now, the junction change I was on about is where you come down to the traffic lights for Tesco first left, Drumbay straight ahead, and Christopherson High Street to the right. Previously, when you came down, the left hand lane was for left and straight on, middle lane was for straight on only, and right hand lane for right only. They have changed this, which is good. Left hand lane is for left only now, middle for straight ahead, and right for right only. You should get a good look at this as we approach. Only challenge being though, is that the cars turning left have to cross the cycle path. So just be wary of that for turning left into Tesco. There will be other routes around Edinburgh, but that's the ones covering the main test routes.